up the link, I will admit people.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. I just realized that we're using this link.
Sarah said she might be able to record this if you want it recorded. Do you want it recorded?
Yeah, why not? I just have to tell people because I thought we were using Zoom, and there was another Zoom link circulating, so I have to share them the link for Meet. It might take a while until everybody gets on this call.
I mean, I sent the link that I set up to all the ones who registered. We sent.
Yeah.
And, hopefully you'll have the young people you want. I'm not young, so I'm not participating. Okay. Take care.
You're still young, Dr. Mazen. You're still young.
No, I'll leave. I'll leave that to you guys. Yes.
Hello everyone. Salam. Julius, hi.
Salam. Good evening.
How are you?
Good. Good.
All good? All right, let me just send Christina the link. Julius,
Yara.
In which language do you want us to do this presentation?
Yeah, very good question. I guess, I don't know if Irene is joining. If she's not there, then I will be the only one who doesn't speak Arabic. And
no, it's completely fine. If you're saying I could do it in English, if everybody doesn't mind, of course.
It's the same for me. I have a very few slides for the beginning as general introduction, and then you can continue and you can switch to Arabic. Why not?
Okay, cool.
Is Yara coming?
Yeah, no, Yara will not be coming because she is in a lecture. But Christina, who I passed down the national coordinator role to, will be joining.
There she is.
Oh, yeah, she's here. Cool.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you guys listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm trying to open my camera. 1 minute. Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina, and I am in my third year majoring in agriculture engineering. And I am also the main coordinator of GYBN Lebanon. And I'm very happy to be in this meeting.
Great to see you here. Maybe we wait 1 or 2 more minutes to see if more people are joining, and then we can start. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Julius.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but now I cannot see you. I want to see who is here. About 12 people. Okay, let's give it another minute. Since there was 68 people who signed up the form, we expect a few more to come.
أستاذ ريان أستاذ ريان
أيوة سلام.
مساء الخير.
مساء النور.
Yes.
دكتور بشير محمودي الجزائر.
شرفنا أستاذ بشير.
العروض هل تكون باللغة الإنجليزية أم بالعربية؟ باللغة العربية.
مثل ما أنتم بترتاحوا الصراحة، بس لأنه الشاب جوليوس ما بيفهم عربي، كنت عم فكر إذا الكل ما بيمانع ممكن نعملها باللغة الإنجليزية، بس إذا في ناس لغتها الأساس أو لغتها الثانية الفرنسية بدكم فينا نعملها باللغة العربية، ما بيأثر.
مش مشكلة. We will just switch to Arabic in the later part. And if it's not too many of us, maybe we can also have an introduction round that everybody quickly introduce himself.
Sounds good.
So we know who is here. Is there anyone from the museum here apart from Dr. Mazen? Or maybe he's not here, but he's online.
حظ سعيد حظ سعيد.
Julius, this
Ah.
Jesse, I am listening in. Thanks.
Great.
There's two.
Are we still introducing ourselves?
Okay. Yes, let's start. Let's start then. So my name is Julius. I'm remote volunteer is a new term for that for the Palestine Institute of Biodiversity or for the Palestine Museum of Natural History. And also I was a youth delegate for the last conference for the Convention of Biological Diversity in Canada that took place in Montreal in December. There I met many more people from the GYBN network. So that's what we're going to talk about later. And also I'm a student right now based in Göttingen, Germany, studying biodiversity and ecology with a focus in vegetation and plants and botany and some interest in insects. Okay. Maybe we just go by the alphabet. Here it says Amani Sabatin. Are you there? Okay, Amani Abed. Can you quickly introduce yourself? Or maybe some...
Yes, hello everyone. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm Amani Abed. I currently work in Environment Quality Authority in Palestine. I have a master's in biochemistry and molecular biology from Jordan University of Science and Technology, and currently working in the biodiversity department, specifically in the flora compartment. So thank you very much and hope to learn as much as possible from you.
Arin, you are next. Or maybe somebody can just jump in and continue. I don't know if you can all see the alphabetical list. There's Arin or Azil, Bachir. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, if no one's taking the floor, I'm probably gonna introduce myself real quick. My name is Yomi. Assalamualaikum. So I'm Chinese. I'm currently a college student at Brigham Young University in Utah. So I'm learning Arabic and I'm learning international relations. I'm minoring Arabic. I actually just came back from Jordan. We spent a semester there last year until like December. And we stayed in Palestine for like about 2 weeks as well. I loved it there. So I'm going to graduate this April, and I'm hoping to move to Palestine from like probably in summer and stay there for like a couple months before my graduate school starts in Jerusalem. I mean, if I were accepted, yeah, I feel like I really love Arabic, and I really, really want to be living there with Palestinian people, getting to know more about them. So yeah, and today I'm like no expert by any means on biology or anything like that. I'm here just to learn from everyone. Yeah, that's me.
Great, thank you. Yeah, maybe Christina, you want to introduce? You already did. Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan. You say a few words and then who has
All right,
one?
perfect. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone for being here today on a short notice, maybe from our side, Christina and I's. I wear many hats. I will just explain, maybe introduce a few of them. I'm an environmental scientist, but I was one of the founders of GYBN Lebanon's chapter. So we didn't found GYBN, we just initiated the national chapter in Lebanon. Currently, it is the only national chapter in West Asia, but we will talk about that later. I also used to work for a youth-led organization called Youth for Nature. Now I've moved to a new role with a non-youth-led organization, but I have also been involved with Yongo, with UNICEF, with UNMGCY, so the major group or the constituency for youth within the United Nations, and several youth-led organizations working on food systems, nature diversity, and climate change. So I have a lot of things to share with you when it comes to opportunities for young people in specific to engage in biodiversity protection. And GYBN will be one of the things or the major thing that we will talk about today. Yeah, back to you, Julius.
Okay. So let's start then. I'll just quickly say a few words about this convention and about the conference that took place. And then we go over to the topic of GYBN and what GYBN, the Global Youth Network, actually means, and how to start and how to get involved with this, how this all actually happened and why we got the idea to set up this event. And let's see if I can switch the screen. Okay. So last December, since 2015, the State of Palestine is a party of the Convention of Biological Diversity, as you may know. And every 2 years, there are these conferences. The conference of the party is called COP. And you can basically say it's one of these big events, big conventions of the United Nations. There's 196 member states or parties that signed to it. And in comparison to the other conference, maybe you've heard about the climate conference, where external people who are not politicians cannot really be much involved. It's a bit different in this CBD process. So these are some images from the opening ceremony with the indigenous leader and the General Secretary of the United Nations giving his speech and the view of Montreal. So in this conference, actually, on this CBD system, there's a growing number of young people involved. So for 10 or 12 years, GYBN was started. And GYBN works together to bring young people from all over the world to be part of this process, to represent young people from their home countries and also make their voices heard on this international level. So that's one part of the GYBN work, apart from the more national focused work that takes place between the conference, more or less. So what we did there in Canada is we had a youth summit before the actual conference, where we get to know each other, where we connect and hear our stories. And you see, I hope everyone is in this photo, in this frame. But this time we were the largest delegation of young people ever to the CBD. So I think it was about 80 people from really all over the globe. And it was a great experience to meet them, to network, to meet all these inspiring activists and hear their stories. And in this very sterile space of the conference, to know that there's people you really resonate with and connect with. And also it was interesting to see how all these topics come down and are very similar in different places. And so we all fighting for the same, basically. And what we did during the conference, one thing is that we have access to the negotiations when the parties, all these member states, the delegations, negotiate the new targets for the next decade for the text of the convention, and how to reverse and halt biodiversity loss by 2030. And then we also had a demonstration, because we find that working on the text was not ambitious enough. And just to make our positions clear, there's Christina in the photo from the demonstration. Then we have different meetings. Of course, we have different working groups working on different topics. There's also sometimes the opportunity for young people to speak in the big plenary. Like this is Azan from, I think, Colombia, speaking to the general audience. And then there was, of course, lots of side events that organized by individuals or by GYBN itself. There was can I zoom in? Yeah. So this is from the press conference that we had, where journalists could come and ask their questions and hear the youth perspective on the global biodiversity framework that was adopted in Montreal. And things like this. So you might wonder why this is blurred at the left photo. But from inside these negotiation rooms, you're not supposed to take photos. So that was a bit of an extra thing. And what also happened in Montreal is that we met with Dr. Issa and Mohammad Mahasna from the Palestinian delegation, and we realized there was no Palestinian young people on the conference. And we had this nice exchange, how we can support each other and work together. And we concluded that it would be a great idea to have Palestinian young people, 2, 3, 4, represented at the next COP that will take place 2024 in Antalya. So that is a bit of the story behind this meeting, that we wanted to reach out to young people in Palestine to get involved and become part of this process and get connected to GYBN, to the Global Youth Network. Then we hear about the GYBN later on. For those of you who are not familiar with the Convention of Biological Diversity, just a very brief background. So this convention stems back to 1993 and has 3 main goals. So the conservation, and deals all with natural resources, with nature, with the conservation, the sustainable use of these resources, and the access and benefit sharing of the use, the benefits that stem from the use of natural resources. And according to these goals, more general border goals, we have different targets. And we had the IT targets from 2010 that were designed to last until 2020, or to be reached by 2020. The big majority of these targets were not reached. So now we have the update, the Kunming-Montreal targets, basically. That turned out to be 22 in the end. Just to get a brief overview. And all these targets, they deal with all kinds of aspects related to nature and biodiversity, and how it needs to be protected, and biodiversity loss, halted by 2030. So now in the process, after the international conference, after we set these goals and targets for the next decade, these go back to the national level, where the national biodiversity strategies and action plans are designed and implemented. So actually now is the time when all the work starts. And in Palestine, there's, for example, this institute, amongst others, involved in this process on the national level. So they're working on the national biodiversity strategy and also co-hosting this event now. And so they have all the knowledge and background about the national biodiversity policies and targets and the next steps, and working together with Environmental Quality Authority towards the implementation of the GBF, the Global Biodiversity Framework. That's it for now. Maybe there's some question for this general part, or otherwise we can just go directly to Rayan and Christina from GYBN Lebanon, who can share their insights and explain what GYBN means and what they do with GYBN and what it enables them to achieve.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you so much. If there are any questions to Julius, please feel free to ask them now in a few minutes. Otherwise, I could just start. All right. If there are no questions to Julius, I'm just going to jump into the practicality of having a GYBN chapter, what that would mean to you as young people. Why is this important for Palestine in general? Oh, all right, cool. Julius, is it, Yomi also, are you both comfortable if I speak in Arabic, or I could maybe give a summary in Arabic, yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna just continue in English and I'll give a summary in Arabic. Yeah, as I was saying, so I'm gonna talk about the practicality of you having a GYBN chapter. So I'm not gonna talk about the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, and all of those technical information that I think is really important for you to know before you decide to launch a national chapter. And there are a lot of free information on GYBN's website and on the CBD's website for you to learn. And I highly encourage that you spend and invest some of your time going through those and actually asking other GYBN members from other countries about updates. For example, the Generation Restoration Campaign, what is happening between 2020 and 2030? Why is 2030 a big year for everyone? What is expected to be achieved? You have to know these things before you decide to open this. Some of you might not be biologists, like Yomi mentioned, or you might not have any environmental science background or any technical background. That is completely fine. You don't have to have that. And that is why this is a youth-led campaign. The idea, very simply, is young people are fighting for a healthier environment, for the protection of biodiversity through campaigns and advocacy, either at a national level, regional, or global. So you don't really have to be the scientist in this equation. That is not necessary of you. What is needed from you is a political movement to push politicians, decision makers at a global level or at a national level to devise policies that will protect biodiversity at a national level in your country. That is what is needed from you as a youth advocate or a youth activist. That's all that is needed from you. So you don't have to be the scientist. You don't have to understand everything from a technical side. There are professors, academic people, technical experts from all around the UN space that can help you or support you and guide you when it comes to the technical information you need, either at a national level or at a global level. What is needed from you is that advocacy part, and that is completely up to you, how you do that. So just to speak about how you can devise or how can you come up with GYBN Palestine? Let's talk about very practically, how does this happen? Very simply, there is the Global South focal point. So at GYBN, there are two focal points. A focal point is this person who is responsible for a very big portion of the planet, let's say. There's the Global South focal point and there's the Global North focal point. Since we, as Lebanon and Palestine, are in the Global South, you will be directly communicating via email with the Global South focal point. Christina and I will give you the email and the name of this person so that you can email them. It's a very simple process, does not include much bureaucracy. It's pretty straightforward. What you have to do is you have to have a minimum of 3 people who are Palestinian to decide together, we want to open a Palestinian chapter, and then you get in contact with the Global South focal point, you have a meeting, you discuss expectations. Usually what happens is GYBN in general provides a little bit of resources to the national chapters. Not a lot, just a little bit. So in terms of funding, that could amount to a few $1,000s, for example. When there is a big project that needs it, of course, you have to apply to access those resources. You also have access to social media support, to networks. You can even be part of delegations to go to COP events. Exactly what Julius showed you. You could be that person taking those photos as Julius did over there. So those are some of the opportunities that would be available to you when you open that GYBN chapter. Of course, visibility on the issues in Palestine that need attention. And especially when it comes to climate justice and biodiversity protection in Palestine. That is very important. And if you don't shed light on this, not many people are doing that, unfortunately. So you have a really big role when it comes to shedding light on the problems in Palestine and the biodiversity issues that are happening there. So 3 of you have to come together. Now, you might ask me, maybe we are more than 3 people, completely fine. I think they would be very happy. The more people, the better. When we launched this in Lebanon, my colleague who cannot be here today was just one person, and this person asked 2 of us to join her, and then we initiated this chapter through a call. We had the call, and then they put us on a 6-month probation. It's not really a probation, it's not really a job or anything. It's just for you to access those resources that they provide you, you have to show a little bit of commitment, let's say, as a volunteer, up to 6 months to 1 year. After that, if they kind of see, okay, this chapter is going well, they're establishing themselves slowly, keep in mind that you're all volunteers, so not a lot is expected from you, and you don't have to have a term of reference and have objectives and targets to meet. No, but at least that they see that, okay, you are a little bit committed. And then after that 6 months to 1 year period, now you're kind of officially within GYBN's information system, and now you can access those resources. Just to note, as GYBN Lebanon, we haven't made use of those resources at all at any time. We launched GYBN Lebanon in 2020, and now it's 2023. The only time we ever accessed resources was for a local hike guided for all the GYBN team members, and the purpose of it was to gather more members from Lebanon to join GYBN. That was the only time we accessed resources. That doesn't mean that you should do the same. You could access much more than us, be more proactive than we were. I'm not saying that this is true or not. I'm just telling you what was available to us. What is really important, the most important piece of work. Now, what can you do within GYBN? These are the opportunities that are presented to you, but what can you do within GYBN? The most important thing we had to do between 2020 and 2021 was to do the National Consultation Survey. When the Generation Restoration Campaign was done, which is this year at COP15, again, if you don't know what COP15 are and stuff like that, no problem. We will send you information and you can read through it later. At COP15, officially, there is now a global biodiversity framework, which means very simply, there is a global plan for how we want to protect and restore nature ecosystems and biodiversity. But for that plan to have happened, a lot of consultations had to happen. One from the technical side, so the scientists, they show the findings and the scenarios and they do the modeling. But from another side, there's a lot of human aspect to biodiversity protection. Not everything when it comes to biodiversity protection means, yes, this is science, this is what we need to do, this is how we'll get there. It doesn't work like that, because people's livelihoods will be affected. How people will be affected by these plans is a big thing. That's why we were part of what was given to GYBN in this huge global plan. What do young people think about this plan? This is your role at the national level. What do Palestinian people think about biodiversity protection? What are their own national priorities? So that's what we did. We presented what Lebanese young people think is important for them at the national level, and of course at the global level, because you are affected by the global space. What are your priorities? Okay, and then we submitted these to GYBN Global, and then GYBN Global, of course, synthesized all of these findings, and they presented it at COP15, and surely that was incorporated into the plan. That doesn't mean that the global plan includes something about Lebanon. No, of course not. It's a global plan. But all of our inputs as young people from all around the world within one organization show the pattern of tens and hundreds of thousands of young people as to what is really the priority when it comes to young people, or how can young people be involved in biodiversity protection. Remember, you are the victim as a young person, and what you need to do is deliver your voice. What is important for us as young people? How can we be involved in all of this fight for climate justice and biodiversity protection? So those are the opportunities that you're presented with. Of course, more opportunities might arise during your journey. Second, that's how you initiate it. So we will give you the email of the person, you speak to them, you have a meeting, and then you set it up. Usually what they have to do and is give you two things. Number one, a website specifically for you, and number two, a logo. Now, to be honest, we haven't received the logo since 2020. So I'm not going to lie, that's a big minus from GYBN's side. But we did receive a logo, and that logo is inspired by you. What inspires you? For example, Palestine is very famous for olive trees. An olive tree could be added to the logo. In Lebanon, we added the tarbush, like we added the animals, the cedar tree, obviously, of course, and then you have your own logo. And then, of course, you can initiate your own social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to do. That's all up to you. What you do from there is up to you completely. So to give you like an idea, a lot of chapters around the world, they had like coalitions between each other. يعني اتحادات with each other. For example, the ones in South America or the ones in Southeast Asia, they have their own coalitions. Why? Because there's a lot of common ground for them to work on. Unfortunately for us in the Middle East, here in West Asia, Lebanon is the only country that has a GYBN chapter. The other Arabic chapters can be seen on the link that I sent you in the chat. There's a map, you can see all the GYBN chapters. But we previously were just Lebanon, Algeria, Jazair, and then Morocco. I think now Sudan and Egypt joined. You can see it on the map. Like it's super easy. But still, they're considered North Africa. They're considered super far away, unless there's a Middle East, North Africa, Arabic cooperation that can arise from there. Okay, great. But until now, we haven't spoken to our Algerian or Moroccan friends, and they haven't spoken to us. We do have contact with the Moroccan team, but we never really collaborated on something tangible. So also a potential for you over there. Hey, nothing has ever been done on an Arabic level or a Middle East and North African level. Let's do it together. Why not? We would love as GYBN Lebanon to be involved with you. First of all, we are neighbors. Second of all, we're the only two countries that will probably be here in West Asia for now. So that has a lot of room. And we also do share a lot of the problems, a lot of the biodiversity that we have is very different from what is available in Morocco. But Lebanon and Palestine share a lot of biodiversity together. So the solutions might be a little bit, or might have some common ground. We were in contact with people from Syria who also wanted to open a chapter. That didn't work out just because they didn't have time to do it. It's all up to you as a volunteer. Do you want to do this or do you not want to do this? A little bit insight about GYBN Lebanon. Our team started off with 3 people, as I said. Now we have around 73 to 100 supporters. I'm not sure about the number. We have about 7 to 12 active members who do the work. So this is our own model that we learned through experience. We divided the teams. One is people who we put in a group who support GYBN Lebanon. So for example, if you have a national survey, you want people to participate, instead of going directly to social media, you go to this special group you have of GYBN supporters, whatever you can call it whatever you like. And then we made another group. You say, okay, these people are committed. They will do the work. You can commit 2 hours a week, 1 hour a week, 5 hours a week, whatever is comfortable for you. You can go ahead and decide together. It's completely up to you to plan your chapter. That gives you a lot of freedom, but it also gives you a lot of responsibility, because you're gonna feel very lost. A lot of people are gonna tell you, I want to join, then they don't do anything, then you follow up with them. It's gonna be a little bit stressful, but well, I'm sure you will learn a lot from this experience. Christina was one of the active members. Before I hand it off to Christina, I'll just explain what happened now in GYBN Lebanon. My colleague Yara went to the US. She's doing a PhD over there. So she cannot commit a lot to GYBN anymore in terms of coordinating the chapter. I have more than 3 jobs by now. So of course, I don't have much time to contribute. And the third person went to France to pursue a master's degree. So we decided to hand this responsibility of coordinating the team down to Christina. And so Christina has been leading our national team for the past half a year, if not more. And she will share with you some of the activities that we have done. Maybe you can draw some inspiration from them regarding what you can do in Palestine. No need at all, but just some inspiration. And yeah, that's it from me. So in case you have any questions, either feel free to put it in the chat box or give it to Christina. But before I give it to you, Christina, I'll just give a very fast summary in Arabic, just to conclude it. باللغة العربية بس حاول يعني يلي كنت عم جرب أقوله هو الخلاصة إنه يلي بدهم ينشئوا يعني الجبن ببلادهم هي بشكل عام ترجع لهم كمتطوعين هن ينقوا إذا حابين ولا لا. بالأخص في قانون واحد إنه لازم يكونوا 3 أشخاص بالأقل يحكوا مع الشخص المسؤول عن الدول النامية أو دول العالم الثالث، وبعدين بيعملوا اجتماع مع بعض وبيحطوهم على فترة ما بين 6 أشهر لسنة واحدة بس ليشوفوا إذا هول المتطوعين ملتزمين جديين بالشغل ولا لا. ومن بعدها إذا مشي الحال بيصير عندهم قابلية إنه يستفيدوا من الفرص يلي متاحة لهم من خلال هيدي أو من خلال هذا الاتحاد العالمي للشباب أو لهيدي الشبكة العالمية للشباب عن التنوع البيولوجي. شوي من الفرص يلي بتتاح لهم أكيد هي نوع من التمويل، بس يعني تمويل بسيط ما بيفوق $1000-2000 حسب الرغبة وحسب المشروع يلي مقدم. فرص ثانية بتتاح لهم إنه يروحوا على هالمؤتمرات العالمية ويمثلوا بلادهم. يعني بالطبع أكيد بيكونوا ممولين من قبل هيدي الشبكة أو من قبل الاتحاد، وإذا الشبكة أو الاتحاد ما هن يلي مولوا بيلاقوا منظمة تانية تقدر تاخدهم. غير اشياء ممكن يكون عندهم فرص انهم تزيد من مش الشهرة بس انه يكونوا يعني يصير لهم اسم معروف ما بين الدول المتبقية. ليه هذا الشيء مهم؟ لانه بس يعني بس يعملوا حملات توعية او جهد خاص منهم كرمال يغيروا سياسات على مستوى البلد أو على المستوى العالمي، بيكون عندهم نوع من المناصرة بشكل أكبر، جمهور أكبر كرمال يعني يكون عم بيساندهم. المطلوب منهم بس إنه يكونوا جديين، يكونوا 3 أشخاص بالأقل، فيهم يكونوا قد ما بدهم أكثر من 3، بس مش أقل من 3. هذا معيار بسيط بس منه كرايتيريا كبير كتير. واكثر من هيك بس كنت عم بقول لهم بلبنان شو عملنا. بدأنا نحن جيبن بلبنان سنة 2020 كنا 3 أشخاص، هلا صرنا حوالي 70 شخص ل 100 شخص. بس الناس الفعالة بقلب الناشونال تشابتر هن بيتراوحوا ما بين 5 ل 7 أشخاص. أنا كنت عم قود يعني كنت عم قود الحملة بلبنان أنا وزميلتي، بس هلا لأنه صار عنا مهمات تانية بالحياة، وظائفنا، جامعاتنا، قدمنا هيدي المسؤولية لكريستينا يلي هلا هي معنا اليوم. كريستينا هلا حتقدم بس شو هن أجزاء من الاكتيفيتيز يلي عملناهم على المستوى الوطني من خلال هيديك السنه لليوم تقريبا. هول هن حتقدمهم كريستينا. اذا نسيت شيء غير كنت قايله بالانجليزي معقول اتذكر وبرجع بحطه بالشات بوكس. that's it. cool. كريستينا قبل ما انقل لعندك بس حافتحها كمان 2 minutes للاسئله for questions anything.
شكرا أستاذ مازن. أستاذ مازن
تفضل.
شكرا على هذا الملخص باللغة العربية. تعلم أن في البلدان العربية في أعظم البلدان العربية تم تأسيس المجالس الأعلى للشباب. عندنا في الجزائر تم إنشاء المجلس الأعلى للشباب من أجل إشراك الشباب في كل السياسات. كيف يمكن أن نفعل المجلس تاعنا في الجزائر من خلال هذا الاتحاد العالمي للشباب؟ كيف يمكن التواصل مع الاتحاد العالمي للشباب من أجل إيجاد الحلول حول التنوع البيولوجي والبيئة وإلى آخره؟ كيف يمكن الاتصال؟
أبسط شيء إنه الفرق بيناتهم، واحد منهم هو على المستوى الوطني فقط، الثاني هو على المستوى العالم. يعني هيدا هون إذا قعدوا مع بعض على طاولة وقالوا أوكي نحن على المستوى الوطني هذا يلي تعلمناه، هذا يلي هو مهم للجزائر، بيوصلوا صوتنا الوطني للصوت العالمي، من خلاله بيصير الجزائر لها اسم. يعني بيصير الرغبات او المشاكل او الحلول المحتاجه لها الجزائر بتوصل للمنابر العالميه يلي عم بتصير. هيدي هي الطريقه اللي ممكن يتفاعلوا فيها.
نعم، ونحن شاركنا فيما قبل في منتدى الطلبه العالمي الذي نظمته اليونسكو في فرنسا في 6-7 ديسمبر 2021 اعتقد، وشاركنا نحن بشباب وحتى تلاميذ من أجل الحديث عن السلام، عن حقوق الإنسان، عن حماية البيئة، تغير المناخ. كل هذه القضايا كانت عبارة عن قضايا للمناقشة وللإبداء الرأي من قبل الشباب. وأنتم تعلمون أستاذ قاسم أن في نوفمبر الماضي 2022 السنة الماضية تم الإعلان عن قانون الشباب العالمي الذي لابد أن نعمل عليه لتفعيله محليا وإقليميا ووطنيا. وكان يسعدني اليوم أن يشارك معنا شباب من المجلس الأعلى للشباب من الجزائر، لكن لم يتمكنوا من ذلك. إن شاء الله في فرص قادمة إن شاء الله سيشاركون في هذا المنتدى. شكرا.
بس يعني أنا كمان بس مراقب يعني هنا شوية، بدخل الناس اللي بدخلوا على اللينك إنه هذا للشباب يعني. في يومي عندها سؤال بالشات، رايان إذا بتقدر تجاوب على سؤال يومي. وبعدين في مجموعة من الفلسطينيين الشباب معنا، إيمان وأماني وسارة وغيرهم، اللي أنا متأكد راح يهتموا إنه يبدوا هذا المشروع معكم. فإذا ممكن تجاوب على سؤال يومي.
يلا.
You can answer Yomi's question.
شكرا مازن. Yomi, thank you so much for your question. I didn't see it. I don't know actually, like if there is a very strict criteria. I'm assuming yes, they have to be of Palestinian origin, but I don't know if only Palestinians can be involved. I don't think so. This isn't like a job or anything. This is a very nice humanitarian environmental initiative led by young people. So I'm pretty sure that they would love if any nationality would support a national chapter, definitely. But again, the best way to verify what I just said is to send an email to the Global South focal point that I will provide. And then they could let you know. That's the best way.
Thank you.
If I can add some things, I think for the founding national chapter, the founding people, they should be Palestinian. And then, of course, once there is a group established, I think everybody can join and be there. So it's just to prevent that foreigners come and set up some artificial structure in a country or something like that is not really supported by locals. So maybe that's why there's this rule. But then once the activities and the group starts working, why not? If I may add a few words, because we talk also a lot about GYBN and on this network, and I understand maybe for those who are not familiar with it, just to clarify or to give a little more background. So the whole idea of the GYBN network 12 years ago was that there was very few, like 3 or 4 young people in these conferences in 2008, 2010, and one of them was Christian from Germany. And he realized, hey, they're talking about our future, they're talking about our planet, about the health of our planet, and all these things that are really much concerning our life and our future. And why aren't there young people here? And it's only old people discussing the future of our planet. So he then raised funding and convinced several ministries and other partners to support to bring young people to this conference space. And this is kind of how it started, with very few people and with the great ambition of a very few that made this all happen, and has then since been growing. And also now we see a shift in the generation that, of course, Christian now is also growing older and maybe soon will not be youth anymore. But anyway, so and as Ryan also said, it's a youth-led organization, so it's not a hierarchical structure that somebody has invented and then you have to follow this, and somebody tells you what to do. No, it's young people do things that they think are important. They support each other. They have created this network to facilitate the participation on national and international level, to share their knowledge, to do capacity building. So there's lots of workshops in the different regions. I know, for example, the Indian chapter is very active, and they host all kinds of events online and offline, of course, and also the other chapters. But just to mention it, so that could be anything. So about citizen science, about the importance of pollinators, and anything that young people are, or that the people in this network are working on and want to push it and bring it forward. So that's maybe just to clarify, it's organized by young people, and it's all kind of, there's a certain set of rules or certain standard practices, like this rule with 3 people that can found a chapter and things like this, that just for practical reason have established themselves. But so also through the different levels, so it's very easy, or it's very connected and very approachable. And very young. It's a young network with young people, and with seeing the short time frame of just a few years, they have achieved a lot of things. And we can talk about this, or you can look it up on the website if you're interested. Okay.
Julius, I'm just gonna answer the 2 questions left, so I could give it to Christina for the sake of time. Perfect. Amani. Amani Abed, I think you had a question.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Rayan. Thank you so much, Julius. I actually have a question regarding the resources you talked about. You said that under probation or within a specific stage of initiating the chapter, founding the chapter, you have access to specific resources. Can you explain a little bit more about those resources?
Sure. Actually, just to add one thing. Yes, first of all, you have to be Palestinian, probably not, but as a founding partner. Second, very important, this is a really important criteria. You have to be between 18 and 35, according to the United Nations official. So, أستاذ بشير بس كنت عبول يلي بدهم يفتتحوا المجلس الوطني بدهم يكونوا جنسيتهم من البلد، وشغله ثاني بده يكون اعمارهم تتراوح بين 18 و 35 سنه. هول هن المعيارين الواحدين. بالنسبه ل resources that they provide, as I said, as GYBN Lebanon, we didn't really take advantage of these resources, so we don't really know exactly what is available. Maybe we're missing out on a lot of opportunities. It's also not super clear that, hey guys, this is what you get, so take advantage of it. What we do know, what you can know yourselves, is there is a monthly meeting for all the coordinators at a global level. So, for example, the coordinator from Palestine will join all the coordinators from the world in a monthly call with everyone. And then over there, they usually present their campaigns at the global level and the resources that they provide. I personally haven't been or have never joined these calls before, but my colleagues have. So this is one way you could know more about these resources. What I do know, I will tell you again, one, there's the COP events. So COP15 that happened this year, or the CBD COP, that's the most important COP for biodiversity. This is one of the resources you can take advantage of in case you get the opportunity. It's not really 100% that you will get it. GYBN, for example, say we got 5 spots this year to take youth. And so you apply, or maybe they text you personally or something. I'm not completely sure. Christina went this year, so she will tell you about this. Other resources, they support you a lot digitally. So they could support you through the website if you need their website. If you need support with Instagram, with your logo, with the website, with your specific emails, all of these things, they support you with. When it comes to funding, they don't, and this is very important, they don't have a pool of funds always ready, sitting there in the corner waiting for someone. So sometimes when they need funds, they apply for it and they get it and they give it to you. So it's not like it's always available and you apply and you take it. No, it happens on very special occasions. If the money is not there and you really need it for something very specific, you can go ahead and tell them, and then you apply for funding together. But you will have to do the effort yourself. It's not like it's available to you. Christina, did you want to add something to this point?
Yes, I just want to clarify when it comes to funding, as in money, as you said that it is not always ready for you. But last year, what happened is it's called like a fellowship program. So you kind of submit the project that you want to do in your country, and then you will get the acceptance, and they will like send you money. But it is not always ready. So it just like occasionally.
Amani, did this answer your question? Thumbs up? All good? Perfect. Yes, Amani. Oh, okay, cool. No problem. We'll move on to our last question before I give it to Christina, because we got 10 more minutes. We don't want to take a lot of your time. And then Christina will hopefully in due time finish all her points. This is Sharaf.
Yes.
أيوة تفضل.
Okay. Thank you much for this presentation and all that you deliver for the audience. I would like to ask you about the coordinator from Palestine, or the starting point, as you said in your presentation, at least 3 people to communicate together to start the national chapter of biological biodiversity. So I would like to ask you, in Palestine, the starting point, if we have 3 persons, so to whom they will have to communicate and to establish the national community of biodiversity. And if there is formal person in Palestine who is representative for this issue in Palestine. Otherwise, we have to establish this target. I mean, or that person who is who have to represent Palestine and to communicate with the international community.
Thank you so much. Very clear questions. The answer is super simple. First of all, who's the designated focal point from Palestine? That is up to you to decide as Palestinians who want to do this. It's just because it's more convenient. Choose one or two people who will maintain contact with the global team, but that doesn't give them any level of superiority within the chapter. No, they're just focal points. Who do you talk to? There is no formal way to initiate GYBN Palestine. I will give you via email after this meeting. I will give it to Julius, and Julius will send it to you. There is a girl called Shweta. She's from India. She's the Global South focal point. And you simply send her an email on behalf of Palestinian young people saying, "Hello, Shweta, we want to open a chapter in Palestine. We're very interested. Can we have a meeting with you?" And then she will take it from there with you. There is no formal application you need to fill.
Okay, thank you. Send her email via the chat box. And
yes.
If the students are here, Sarah, Nasruddin, or the others, take these notes into consideration.
I will try to find the email actually right now for you while Christina is presenting. So yeah, cool. Christina, to you now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan, for your presentation. So I will try to make it in a very fast way. So I just joined GYBN Lebanon first as a volunteer, as part of the network in 2021, and become the coordinator last year. First, I just want to say that I'm so proud of GYBN Lebanon's work. So I will state some milestones, activities that we did in the past 8 months. GYBN Lebanon is currently collaborating with UNICEF Lebanon, as well as 12 other youth-led organizations, to come up with a policy that concerns youth and climate change, and it will be submitted to the Ministry of Environment on behalf of UNICEF. In the last November, we have organized, in collaboration with the Natural Reserve of Tyr, a training day on Lebanese marine life. And this training day was actually funded by GYBN Global. So the training day, we discussed the marine life in Lebanon, the species, the ecosystem, and how to... And how like our actions are affecting these species, how climate change is affecting our species. And a part was also dedicated for sea turtles and their life cycle, nesting process, their importance. And there is like a fact about sea turtles in Lebanon that 30% of dead turtles found in the beach of Tyr is because of plastic. So they will find like plastic stuck in their mouth or in their stomach. So we also did a beach cleanup. So we sorted the waste, and we had like a training process of how to clean the beach when there is like an oil spill. So also being part of GYBN community will give you the chance to be opened for the international community. So we also engage in international meetings and conferences, especially with GYBN Asia. Our latest activity with them was a biocultural festival where each day had a specific theme, for example, like biodiversity and poetry. So each country will like present their culture and their biodiversity in their country. So, and I'm happy to say that each of our team members had the chance to travel and to represent GYBN Lebanon as well as the Lebanese youth voices to the international community. So Estelle, one of our team members, participated in COP27, where we collaborated with the UNESCO. George was in Tunis in a climate change camp organized by Greenpeace. And he is also going next month to Miami to represent GYBN Lebanon in a climate camp. And I had the chance to represent GYBN Lebanon in COP15, which was really a fruitful experience. So we also like organize activities and conferences with local NGOs or organization. And next month we are organizing with Hult Prize in one of our universities to have like multiple sessions to talk about the SDGs. So we want to focus more on education. So we're gonna like have to do collaborations and the conferences in school and universities. So these are some activities that we did in the last 8 months. Anyone have any question? No questions?
I think the next step is for you all to take a few of the young people that are here and see if they are interested. I know at least there's 2 ladies from the EQA, and there are some girls from our institute, and there's Samar Shaheen and others. If Jahan, Sarah, Amani, Iman, if they're interested to form a small group and get going as suggested by Ryan and Christina. E-cup.
Well, I believe, as Dr. Mazen said, we should, I think, focus more on who exactly wants to participate and who is actively going to be a member or actively going to be within this this foundation of this chapter, and then we can talk a little bit more as a more condensed group. So maybe that would be better.
Also, Dr. Mann can add
Sorry, the line's cutting.
Yes, I think we collected all the people who signed up the form. We collected email addresses, and we can send out a follow-up email.
Yes.
And maybe have, I don't know if there's no more time today, but have another follow-up meeting or like a local Palestinian meeting where people can come and discuss the ideas together and start the process, and then we'll see who wants to join and be in this initial group that can, of course, be extended.
What I can do, if you want, since I now have Brian's and Christina's emails, I can email the young people here who are interested. If you just tell me that you are interested, and then connect you with each other, and then I step back from this and let you young people take it over. Or Julius can connect you also. But we need to hear that you are interested. I see Nahla said that she's interested. Iman Amoudi said that she's interested in the chat room. So if you want, just put your email or put your name, put a message. We have your emails actually, so just